Well, hello. We're here for another Wednesday. How are you today, Lola?
It's a Wednesday.
It's a rainy Wednesday.
It sure is.
And I'm not going to lie to you, I feel it. I
Yeah.
definitely feel it today. Well, I was just telling Lola I went to Vegas the past 5 days, and I got home yesterday.
No wonder you're tired.
I am exhausted.
Because you said, I'm so tired. I said, well, you really look tired. But
Yeah.
I didn't know you'd just gotten off a plane. You didn't take a red eye back, did you?
No, it
Oh,
was
I've done that.
Have you
It's
really?
Brutal.
I bet. Well, brutal is 3 time zones. So our way there, we went to Colorado. That was a different time zone. Then you go to Vegas. That's a different time zone.
Yeah.
And on the way back, we went to Nashville. That's a different time zone. And then you get home, and then you have to like readjust again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm waking up and going to bed at the most irrational hours of the night. So yeah. So I didn't really think that that short period of time would actually like put me far behind.
Well, but you also had to deal with, I mean, it's only been, what, a week and a half, 2 weeks with the daylight savings change anyway. So you
Yes.
had that mixed all in it.
Yes, and actually in Vegas, it started getting dark at 4:40. Yeah, like dark.
All right, answer this. Was there a lot of ash around and smoke?
No,
from
we had a lot of warnings about that. What they call it, red winds or something like that. Yeah, red wind warnings, and which actually kind of made me nervous about landing because I didn't, I'm not the biggest flyer fan. But what I can tell you, there was, a lot of people here get upset about the mask rule. It's not an option there. Outside, inside, in the casinos, in the restaurants, you can take your mask off when you sit down to eat. You can't take it off when you're sitting down to play. When you're playing, I learned how to play roulette. I'm not a gambler, but I chose one game and that was it. And
Did you do well?
I did not. I did not. I lost $100 over the course of the 5 days. I came home with a 10-cent ticket.
Well, that's okay.
I know.
I mean,
sad.
you went there expecting to lose, didn't you? I mean,
Well,
I always do.
I went there not expecting to play at all, to watch.
Oh,
And then
Oh,
I got the itch.
yes, you have to. It's like, I can make a better decision than that person can.
Right. No, I couldn't.
Okay.
No,
Gotcha,
I couldn't. And you know
gotcha.
what's really funny is so on the roulette table, you can also play red or black.
Right.
So you have like a 50-50 chance of winning.
Right.
And I still wasn't winning.
That's what I was just going to say before you said that was just play a red or black or
Right.
even or odd.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, so I thought that was funny. But like, so when you're playing roulette, for instance, anytime you had to take a drink, you had to get up, walk away from the table, and take a drink. You weren't allowed to take a drink at the table. Nobody was allowed to stand behind you. And there was 11 of us that went, so we could never sit together. So when we approached our friends, when we met them at this one place, we went behind them and standing and talking, and they very quickly came up to us and separated us.
Wow.
They said, find a seat, you couldn't really do that kind of stuff. Well, hello, Olivia. Yeah, so it was like night and day being there. There's still a lot of stuff closed. There's no buffets. There's no dancing. There's no pool parties.
Liv, if you want it, just go ahead and swing around. I can mute you for a moment.
Yeah, so they're pretty strict there. So we're pretty blessed back here. I went to Lowe's today. I did have my mask on, but I want to say a solid 70% of everybody else that was there did not. In the beginning, I kind of understand when we as West Virginians still had a 0 count.
Yeah.
But now, hey, kids are being homeschooled. Get your mask on.
Just got serious.
Yeah, crap just got real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Sorry
yeah.
I'm late.
No,
Yeah.
it's okay. But yeah, so that was my adventures in Vegas this weekend. I did fly Southwest, and I'm not going to lie, it was probably one of the best flights I've ever had
Oh, really?
to and from. Yeah,
That's
I
good.
watched 4 great movies. 2 of them were The Good Liar and Adrift. Both good.
My son always uses Southwest, but then again, he's coming from Colorado, so
Yeah.
that's what he always.
So, I was telling Olivia the other day, I was all about them passing the marijuana law in the state of West Virginia until I went to Vegas. So, you're sitting at dinner and the person next to you is just open and freely smoking pot.
They can do it like
It's
that?
recreation. You can do it wherever you want. There's no smoking rules of any kind.
See, I didn't remember when I was there, like people being able, unless you were in a casino, like people being able to smoke while you were at dinner and stuff.
No.
But maybe
You
I
didn't.
drank
Yeah,
a
I
lot
don't-
while I was there too.
Maybe it wasn't, popular yet, but
Maybe.
that's the only thing you smelled was weed.
Well,
And-
yeah, I talked to somebody that had been there before COVID, pre-COVID, and he said, you walk down and say, you don't need to smoke it, just breathe
Just
deep."
breathe, exactly. Yeah. And
Yeah, like on the street I noticed it, but not like inside.
oh gosh, yeah. In our hotel, like I was an idiot. I actually thought that we booked a hotel that was smoke-free 100%, and I was so excited.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Was
'cause
it not?
It was not.
I
See,
don't
ours
think
was.
they've
Mine-
got 'em, do they?
Well,
Yeah.
MGM Park, and we stayed at MGM Grand, and I only heard MGM.
See, we stayed in a hotel that only had smoking rooms, like you couldn't smoke freely throughout.
Yeah, that's how
Made a big difference.
our hotel was like that, but nobody was
Paying
Adhering to
adhering
it.
to it.
adhering to it. Yeah, it was a smoke fest for sure.
See, our lobby was always like not. I didn't notice it, but I don't know. We rarely was in the room or the hotel.
Yeah, I went in a couple times to take some breaks.
Yeah. I got blisters when I was out there
Oh, absolutely,
walking around, like
absolutely.
in like slide on shoes. Like my heels got blisters from it being so hot on the pavement because we went and it was very hot. But we walked. I mean, my watch, like it was at least 15 to 16 miles each day.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And you don't really realize
No.
something that's right in front of you takes like a half hour to get to.
Yeah, like and I'm a walker. I don't care to walk everywhere. So we would take off walking like 10, 15 minutes later. Like, I mean, my gosh, where are we? And I remember we looked at the thing and I was like, oh, Stratosphere, that's not far. And somebody like
Oh, yeah.
overheard us and was like, get you a cab. And you're like, okay, thanks.
You know what we did? We rented one of those golf carts that's
Yeah.
all painted, and you just take it right down the strip. You drive it like a vehicle. And ours was, I don't know, some kind of aliens were on it or something, and it was like my mom, my sister, my son, his wife, you know. We looked like fruitcakes, but it got us places because otherwise, Mom certainly couldn't have walked,
Oh, I bet.
you know.
I mean, especially going up and down all those steps.
Yeah.
I was giving much props to the girls who looked like what they called cadets?
No, Rockettes.
Rockets, thank
Yeah,
you. The
but they're
Rockettes.
showgirls there.
They're showgirls. Well, it was 50 degrees. Wind was scooting. And
And you know the hair on their legs are probably growing underneath
absolutely.
their fishnets.
But they're in these high boots walking up and down these steps. And I said, girls, you are doing your job today. Like I was like, whoa. So that was my last 5 days.
I actually watched about 3 minutes of Burlesque last night with
good
Christina
movie.
Aguilera. I know. I didn't finish it because I got tired.
That is a good movie.
It is.
So is everybody gearing up for Christmas?
I'm getting ready to. I'm not doing Christmas before Thanksgiving decorations. I think it'd be too much on me because I'm doing my good clean outs. Like I got 5 cupboards cleaned out this
Oh,
morning.
aren't those amazing? Like I looked at my house this morning. I said, I have never seen my house this cluttered.
I hate those days because then all you want to do is just throw away.
Throw away. Absolutely. Yeah.
But I actually cleaned out and like it was like one of my cupboards was one that I put craft stuff in, and I'm like, why am I saving scraps of construction paper?
Listen, you're preaching to the choir.
Yeah, like okay, so it's in a Tupperware. Throw it away, right? You know, just from throwing away that stuff and like little knicky-knack things from my kids making slimes, because like I have a bunch of kitchen cabinets, and then 3 of them underneath where my island is, I can't even use them because it's so full of just like randoms, right?
Yeah.
They're empty. I can't wait. I'm going to Sam's. Fill them up. Get all my baking stuff for Thanksgiving and Christmas, you know?
Yeah, it's time to start stocking up anyway because, like I just said to Lola before we got on, I am scared of another shutdown with the way the numbers are rising.
Numbers are outrageous.
Yeah, our family's
everywhere.
going today to get tested, not because we think that we have it, just to help the percentage. Well, it kind of stinks the way that how schools are getting shut down, what it's based off of, like the maps, the color coding, because nobody is wasting a test if they're 100% healthy.
Right.
They're only taking a test if they feel sick or they have symptoms or if they get that phone call and, they've been in close contact with somebody. And I kind of respect that, but if that's the case and, the percentages are going to be,
Pretty high.
yeah. So, yeah, we're all going to go get tested today on the island, which reminds me, this week, it's free. You
It's
can
drive
go-
up too, everybody. It can walk up, but you can drive up.
Yeah,
too.
you can go to Wheeling Island. It's at the
Firehouse.
the firehouse.
Yeah.
Also, Valley Grove Volunteer Fire Department and the Warwood Fire Station. And it's from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Till the 14th.
Very nice.
Very
Today
nice.
is also Veterans Day.
I know.
I'm
Happy
sure.
Veterans Day to everybody.
And thank you, everyone who served and continue to serve our country. It's
Yes.
something that I respect, but I would never really be able to truly understand that because I've never, never
No.
enlisted. I've never served. I've
Absolutely.
never,
And could you
you know.
imagine being a spouse or a parent of someone who's enlisted and, you go for a period of time and you can't talk to them?
Right. No, I mean, it's a lot. Or how different some come back because of what they've seen, what they've had to do, and what they've done. And they've done it for all of us, and we're at home complaining.
Right?
Really, we're at home complaining because there's nothing on TV or, the weather is crappy or whatever. So today put a lot of things in perspective. Like I saw somebody wrote on Facebook something about, like, imagine writing the country a complete blank check, just waking up one day and signing a check over, because ultimately the price they're paying for our country is completely priceless. You can't put a price tag on it, and yet they come back and there's one day, yes, everybody thanks them, but can you think about what tomorrow brings? You know what I mean? It's just kind of crazy. Think of it that way.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, did we ever find a guest that we were able to get to come on?
No.
Everybody's
But-
busy.
I know,
It's
everybody's
okay.
busy and, Lola, we're winging it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Every Wednesday, Lola does not know what to expect.
Well,
When we
Dr.
come in.
Joe from Good Zoo was in
Oh,
with
nice.
the mayor, and he brought one of those little 3-ringed armadillos.
Yes.
It was
cute.
the cutest thing.
Did you get to touch it?
Yeah.
I don't
it
know how
hard?
I missed it coming in.
He was gone already.
I've been out there since 12/19. I didn't have anywhere to go, so I just hung out in the parking lot.
Oh, well, you should have come in. He
And
was-
like me, I'm flying down 88, like 90,000 miles an hour till I got behind a
Yeah.
garbage truck. And I was like, karma.
Yeah. But it was the cutest thing. He'd set it down, and then it would come out of its little shell, you know? It was the cutest little thing.
Cute till it gets in your trash.
An armadillo
Oh, wait, I was thinking of a,
possum.
yeah.
I can't
And-
stand you.
I did see this on Facebook about or little possums. They eat bad things, and so you should be kind to little possums, particularly in the winter. Don't boot them out from under your porch or anything, because they eat ticks and fleas and yucky
Really?
stuff. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
They're so cute.
There's a big strong area of Woodsdale and Dimmydale, and I'm not really sure like how far Woodsdale goes. It's 'tis the season. The rats are coming out, and now they're going to start that Bedalion project. I think that's how you say it. And there's some concern about how the rats are going to get displaced and start to disperse throughout Woodsdale. They're going to have to rehome, which I genuinely believe after the Alpha started getting tore down.
They were all displaced again.
They were all displaced then, and the numbers were extremely up. And a lot of people, I'm kind of mortified to have to say this, but we had a rat problem last December. It was the week we had some water.
Mice,
some-
rats, and lice have no prejudice. Let's
They
all
don't.
just
Well, we had some
realize
flooding
that.
in the house, and then rats came along with it, and
know.
they did roughly $7,000 in damage to our house.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
See, I worry because when the water comes up in the spring, they're all down on the creek
Oh,
or on the riverbed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Gretchen's pulled them out. They've got all these big concrete, those jerry walls or whatever they call them, Jersey walls that they use. Well, they just dumped a whole bunch of them down there one time. And so they're just all these blocks of concrete.
Yeah.
And Gretch is a rodent dog, so she sniffed one out, and I was so afraid because of, rabies or anything
No,
like that. And
absolutely.
she's sticking her nose in these holes trying to get these rats out. So I worry every spring when the water comes
Yeah.
up real
So
high.
a long time ago, operations used to bait the sewer lines heavily in all the areas, especially I guess where I live. And the EPA came along because our lines are connected, and they used to run into the creek. But my understanding is that the lines don't run into the creek anymore. So I don't know if they can start baiting again.
I don't know.
I don't either.
I get mice up in my neck of the woods
Yeah,
pretty
we get-
decently because, I
Well, you
mean,
live in the woods.
yeah, basically you can't control it. And I'm not gonna lie, like right now, like when it gets warm and then chilly and then warm, like this weird time, we've been setting traps every night just to try to get on top of it.
Yeah.
So,
See,
Kind of
we
crazy.
get them too, but, I got 6 cats.
Oh.
It amuses, it's just entertainment for the cats.
If I
you
wasn't
know?
scared of cats, I too would have a cat. Yeah. But Morgan's also allergic to cats.
yeah, I kind of developed
But when I
an
first,
allergy too.
yeah, when I first started at the arena in '97, there was a flood right before I started, and then there was a flood that summer. And when I mean, like the rats that we get at home are not the size of these rats that we get at the arena. And
Yeah, they're like dog size.
we had a couple of maintenance guys who thought they were funny carrying these things around, and I was mortified. Like you could hear them running above you, like
Oh,
in the
gosh.
ceilings, and it was like the worst. Like,
I remember 2004,
oh
that flood.
yes,
And Denny said something about, the minute that water really starts coming up,
yes.
and it was like,
It was during a hockey game, and so we have to cap, I think, at it's either 33 or 35 feet. And it was a hockey game started, and it kind of caught us off guard, like how fast the water was
Yeah.
coming up. And Denny made an announcement on the speaker, and then he said, if you have to use the restroom, you have to do a number 1. Don't flush. No, don't flush. But if you have to do a number 2,
go outside.
Leave now.
I mean, people died laughing. And then you know how they have that little thing in the newspaper, like Dear Editor? The little, well, I can't think what it was.
Yeah.
Not the editor, but what's that one?
Letters to the editor.
No, it's the one where they make fun of you.
Editorials. Oh, the joke?
It's kind of like a joke, like the meme, and they had like a really like little funny meme about what Denny said at the game that night. I mean, like people were laughing for days about that. It was just the way he said it. He said it so nonchalantly, so sweet. But it was. I mean, that was a huge flood for everybody. I mean,
Was that Katrina? Was that
No,
or I?
it was
No.
Ivan.
Ivan,
that's
yeah.
what shut down Route 7 for the longest time, and it's kind of crazy to think that they're actually still working on that.
I actually couldn't get home. I was working at Woodsdale Elementary School at the time, and they had closed school early, but I was part of their aftercare program, and we had to be there no matter what because some parents just couldn't get there. And I remember I could not get home. I took like 5, 6 different ways and ended up stopping at my dad's friend's house, who shall remain nameless at this point. But I was like, oh, okay. And then like there was no power, so I'm sitting there with one of my dad's friends and like completely no electric, like, what am I gonna do? And my little cougar, and out of nowhere, here come my dad in his 16-passenger Ford van, like, let's go. I was like, how'd you get through? And he's like, I told them I was coming through. I was like, thanks. And the next day we went to Morgantown
That's crazy.
for a football game.
Yeah, but no, that was a huge flood. That was
Yes,
huge.
it was.
Yeah.
Well, 7 just kind of, the hillside just slid.
Yeah.
I couldn't, I was living in Tiltonsville then.
Yeah.
Couldn't get home.
My parents lost their power that time, like for 4, almost 5 days. It was funny, my husband's parents, we had just started dating around that time. Their basement had 8 feet of water in it, and they still had cable and everything. But just like the whole basement was full. I got home, my mom's eating like a can of corn because they hadn't had power in 5 days. And my dad went on a work trip, and I was like, why don't you go get some? She's like, because I haven't showered either. I was like, of course not. It's just funny, and I was like, knowing them have like cable and everything,
Well, that's what I've always heard, that when the island really floods, big time, that first of all, there's guys that go out in canoes and you give them your money and they bring you back beer. But, you don't lose your power, you don't lose your cable.
Unless you cut your box off, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Now, at
I
your
told my
house,
husband's name is Noah. He was
at
born
your
in
house
the flood.
currently, Lola, is your furnace and stuff upstairs, or is it in the basement?
no, it's in the basement, but it's on a 4-foot pedestal. But I learned early on, when I moved in there, how to take the motor out. I mean, we'd lose our hot water tank, but yeah, I know how to take the motor out of my furnace and carry it upstairs. But it has to be monumental for me to get any water in my basement. You know, but it might come up the street some,
Right.
but, you know, my house sits up
Higher.
so high. Yeah. It's like a
Well, that's a
complete
blessing.
story up before it even gets to the first floor.
Yeah. Well, let's hope it doesn't happen anytime soon.
Oh,
How do you
yes.
go from veterans to flooding?
Rats.
Yes.
Rats. Which still poses the question, how
R-
do we go
R-
from veterans to
RATS. Rats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now I
All
remember.
right. Well, we're at the top of the half hour. Is that what you're saying? The top
Bottom.
of the hour?
The
Bottom of the hour? Tomato, tomato.
Yeah,
We're going to go to a
bottom.
break. Please support the sponsors that support the station. You're listening to The Watchdog.
Does your dog need groomed or walked? Are you looking